Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So, uh, Asnan Sulaiman, what happened to his connection? Did he just dropped out?
I think so as well. Yeah.
Okay. Bismillah. Let's wait for him before I start. Uh,
I'll ask Yusuf Bhai to try and contact him. His network was fine. He just dropped right now. He's back, right?
he's
Yeah,
back.
he's back.
He's back.
There,
Okay.
there was an internet problem on my side. That's sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So today the date is July 23rd, 2025. My name is Muhammad Faisal. I'm one of the chief examiners at Nafi International College. Today the topic is the examination topic is for EduQual level 6, which is 360 credits. A person who completes this, our students have been able to secure admissions in US, in UK, in Canada, in Germany, all over the world. Alhamdulillah. This prepares them for the future. This prepares them for all the things. And Hasnan Suleiman, you just appeared for your level 3 few
Yeah,
weeks ago, right?
exactly.
How many weeks was that?
Approximately, I would say 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
So when we provide anyone level 6, we also give them level 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So the 6 comes with level 3, 4, 5 courses as well, so that they have a much more robust preparation. Something that he did, and he appeared for level 3 exam, and now he's going for level 6 exam. The topic that you have, Hasnan, is Advanced Chaos Engineering Lab for financial microservices using Litmus Chaos, one of the tools, Azure Chaos Studio, and Prometheus alerting mechanisms, right? In this lab, students will simulate failures in a microservice-based banking system to validate its resilience and fault tolerance. So you have to show me the key learning objectives of the topic, right? And the
yeah,
topic is pretty loaded. This is essentially one of the things that you will also see when you're doing your labs as well, right? Online, the Al Razak labs. Al Razak
yeah.
labs prepares you for the job market. It prepares you for what you're about to see, so on and so forth, right? So this is very important for you to understand. So because like if you go online, if I share my screen, right, on the portal, you will see Al Razak Part 1 and Part 2 labs. Part 1 are part of the courses labs. Like whatever we are teaching you, they are coming from where? They're coming from basically the job market. All the courses are based on the job market, right? So our emphasis is not on academic per se. Our emphasis is to get you on the job quickly, fast, in a fast and convenient manner within the industry, right? So these are lab-based courses, courses-based labs, and this is like where you go in. So when you go in, as part of your KYC, you will find some chaos engineering coming in as well, right? So you will see that. We are, as part of the AI ops, you will get all of these domains, these different domains, right? I was told that a major domain upload is coming for domain 5 and domain 6. Domain 5, you will get another 45 certifications of Red Hat based on job-based, employer-based labs, right? And then Kubernetes and orchestration, this is QB astronaut, but you will also
Yes,
get golden QB astronaut. So there are more, there's Prometheus, Grafana, GitOps, all of those kind of things will also be coming in. I believe this Friday or whatever it is, you will get the alerts and everything, right? So each of these courses have labs. Don't forget to do the labs,
okay.
right?
I will. I
Because
will
you
do.
have to, just so for example, if you open this course, these are all the labs. See? So just for Dockers, we are covering, you don't have to do anything. You just click, like for example, Docker with Cloud Function, integrating Docker with Cloud Function, right? Or multi-cloud application, Docker Swarm. So you click on that, the lab is there. The lab
Okay.
explains what you have to do, but start from lab 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just showing you lab 41, right? What are the prerequisites? We are giving you all the prerequisites. Everything is there. Everything is installed. Lab environment, a Nafi cloud machine is already there. Start the VM. It will start the VM. The
I've
VM
actually went through a bunch already, so I exactly know what to do.
Yes, you can also remote through SSH as well, but you have to do the lab on the container, either through this is the VNC. You can also remote through SSH. Once you find out the IP, you can SSH to that machine as well. You can do that, but you have to complete either through SSH or through VNC. It needs to be completed because then we will be able to mark it. Because once you complete it, this lab will be then disabled so that no one can copy. If you are caught, if we see you sharing details, downloading content or stuff like that, your diplomas will be canceled. Okay, so please do not play with your future. Focus on your studies, focus on getting the skills, focus on cracking the interviews and getting on the job. Or if you want to start your own business, whatever you want to do, right? So
Okay.
this is the lab. You can see it talks about all the things, right? So once the lab container is ready, I will get a message that the lab container is ready. Your lab is ready. Okay, connect now. Connect the lab. It will start connecting. Think I have the recent connection issue, so I will restart this again. Sometime this happens because we are providing you, millions of containers, right? So sometimes the containers they end up with some issues one way or the other, right? So we start the lab again, do that, wait for 1 minute. Once it comes up, you know, so it will do. But you have to do these labs. The labs are very important part for you. So the topic that you are presenting today, this topic, which is your topic right now, as part of level 6, Advanced Chaos Engineering Lab for Financial Microservices, you will find the same exact lab, right? Or similar within your KYC part 2, Al Razak part 2, which is based on KYC.
Okay.
Know your so based on your preferences, what you want to do, which country you want to go, and which industries you want to work in, every person will receive different labs. So because in the Al Razak domains, right? If I have to show you the domains and everything, there are different kinds of domains. So you have to understand a couple of things. I'm going to mention that to you. Then we will jump on the exam because this is all connected with the exam as well. There are different domains that you will find. Okay, in the Al Razak there are different domains. So this is everyone will receive these domains over 6 months period, right? Over 6 months period, you will receive these domains. If you are in level 3, you will get level 3, labs, which are few, 100, 200. Level 4, 4, 500. Level 6, level 5, 6, 700. Level 7, up to 1,000. Containers ready for you.
Yeah.
Click on it,
One question.
start replicating.
Yeah. One question is, completing all the labs a necessity to get your diploma issued?
Sorry, come again. You're saying?
Is it a prerequisite to complete all the labs before getting your diploma issued?
It is not right now. It will be.
Okay.
We are about to enable that.
I better
Yes.
speed up then.
Yes. We are making it mandatory. Al Razak part 1 is mandatory. You have to do that. Complete the Al Razak part 1. We will submit it for you. You can take your time, but in the next 2-3 months, we will make it mandatory for everyone to do the labs because the labs gives you the skills.
Exactly.
When you go on the labs, if I have to show back you the screen, this is very important for you, right? Because passing the exam is easier. So connect now. Okay, connect now. So this is very important for you. I'm having some problems with the labs of the connection, so I'm just going to go for another lab, Docker Volume Persistent Lab Storage. Start the lab. Hold on. While this is uploading, so once you complete the lab will also ask you questions, the AI, because when once this loads up, then I will show you the AI is going to ask you if a question, just like the employers will ask you when you're going for, like for example, the question can be, how do you create volumes on Docker? How do you configure persistent storage? How do you configure temporary storage? How do you configure storage from AWS or from Azure, right?
Will
You
I
have
be
to
supposed to type in the answers?
it gives you the answers. So you have to type in the answers right now.
Okay.
It will tell
Okay.
you if your answer is right or wrong. If it's wrong, then it will give you the answer. If it's right, it will say you are right. It will analyze your answer and give.
Okay.
But we are about to enable a new feature in few months' time where you will be able to talk, where AI will say that, well, AI will communicate with you, right? It will communicate with you, and you have to talk to the AI, right? So now this AI, this lab is loaded. So once the lab loads up, you expand the screen. This is the get help button. So you can minimize this. You can do this. You can even connect through, as I said, through SSH. SSH is faster, right? SSH. Those labs which requires you command line, then you can do this. But those labs, but you will see the labs which will require you to do GUI-based functions as well, right? So this is the get help button. The get help button will ask you, what lab is this, right? So this is where uh, it will give you the answers, like so on and so forth, right? Uh, so the core thing for you to understand is, which is very important, is that you have to complete the lab and then go through the Q&A. The Q&A will prepare you for the interview. We are
Okay.
about to enable the voice feature. Voice function इसका हम enable करने वाले हैं, जिसमें वो तुमसे बात करेगा उर्दू में, इंग्लिश में. हम उसको इंग्लिश में फोर्स कर रहे हैं क्योंकि तुम्हें इंटरव्यू इंग्लिश में ही देना होगा ना, राइट? If you want to go in Arabic or Urdu, you can do that as well. You can select. But मेरा suggestion होगा कि English में बात करो, because जहाँ भी तुम जाओगे, English is the common language, right?
Exactly.
And that's something that you will go through. I will just shut down the lab, delete the lab, so that I don't end up using the tokens, because the tokens यहाँ से use होते हैं इसके, right?
जी.
इसके tokens use होते हैं. तुम्हारे पास दिन में छोटी मशीन यूज करने के लिए up to 3 hours हैं, या जो 4 GB की है. अगर 8 GB की मशीन है तो 2 घंटे हैं, या फिर अगर बहुत बड़ी मशीन यूज करोगे 16 GB वाली या 32 GB वाली तो आधा घंटा है. दैट्स इट. दिस इज एन एड
Can
ऑन
I
दैट प्रोवाइडिंग इट टू यू. ये हम तुम्हें
can
एड
I
ऑन
purchase extra tokens apart from the 750
एक्स्ट्रा
ones?
टोकन्स.
Okay.
हम उसके फीचर्स अभी खोलने वाले हैं. यू विल बी एबल टू फाइंड कि तुम अपनी लिमिट एक्सटेंड कर सकते हो. यू कैन से मेरी लिमिट 3 घंटे से आगे मुझे. लेकिन ये जो है जब ज़्यादा लोड बढ़ता है तो वो 3 घंटे तुम्हारे 2 घंटे हो जाएंगे, छोटे छोटे कंटेनर के, और से कम होता चला जाएगा, क्योंकि ये हम तुम्हें फ्री में दे रहे हैं एड ऑन. ये हमारी तरफ से, वी आर नॉट चार्जिंग यू एनीथिंग. दिस हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ कॉस्ट. लेकिन अगर तुम चाहते हो कि नहीं, आई वॉन्ट माई 3 hours or my fixed 5 hours or 7 hours a day, where I'm going and doing the tokens and the labs and everything, you have to buy additional things. वो हम standard तुम्हें दे रहे हैं. There will be a standard package you will see जिसमें तुम्हें सब चीजें मिलेंगी. Okay, so going back to your topic, the topic is Advanced Chaos Engineering Lab for Financial Microservices. Okay,
Okay.
you have to show me chaos engineering fundamentals. Resilience monitoring के लिए क्या करना? What do we have to do? Business continuity and risk modeling. What do we have to do? Industry applications, open source and cloud native tools. And then the topic is pretty standard. We will go through a 15 minutes minimum to maximum 25 minutes of presentation, followed by Q&A, where we will go through the Q&A, right? Inshallah, for up to 30 minutes. The exam will be wrapped up in 30 minutes, in 1 hour altogether. Keep this in mind, which is the most important thing. We are not here to fail anyone. We are not here to pass anyone. We are here to judge you, assess you, to ensure that you're meeting the exam objectives. If you're meeting the exam objectives, you've passed, right? As we move forward, the labs will become the integral part. So you must complete the labs. We will discontinue these live interviews per se, right? That time is getting closer. So live interviews discontinue हो जाएंगे. तुम सिर्फ अपना एग्जाम दो, अपना MCQs करोगे, अपनी labs करोगे, अपने courses पढ़ोगे, you're passed. Because वो labs में AI will ask you questions, and it will keep on asking you questions until it sees that you are fully prepared.
Okay.
Okay, so that's another thing which is coming up. So this because मैंने जितने जो whatever I had in me, 50% of it has been transferred to our Albari platform. The remaining 50% is still there, and I'm doing that right now, right? So that is the future of learning. The future of learning is AI based, AI first approach. The future of learning is you have to harness the power of AI and use it to the max, inshallah. Okay? Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, Bismillah. You can share your screen, please.
So, is
Show
my
me,
screen
show me the
visible?
title. Show me the title page, please.
Okay. I have to go back to that. Yep. Done.
Okay. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You may start now.
Okay. Good day, everybody. This is Sulaiman Amir from Peshawar, Pakistan. The topic for today's presentation is going to be Advanced Chaos Engineering Lab for Financial Microservices. And we're going to be using three tools primarily, which are Litmus Chaos, Azure Chaos Studio, and Prometheus Alerting. Now, today, what I'm going to be doing is that we have a scenario of a bank named Qantas Financial LLC. We're going to be going through each one of its components, and then we will see the role of chaos engineering, a technology we're going to be discussing very soon in the coming slides. So without further delay, let's just hop in. So let's start with the bank. It was founded in 2017, headquartered in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It's a digital first bank, which means most of the load goes into its web applications with over 7 million active users, which means a lot of daily transactions are taking place. The main services it's providing to its customers are instant payments, loans, wallets, investments. And the main point of it is that it is 100% cloud native. Each one of its components are hosted on Azure services. It has a high dependency on uptime and trust because obviously it's a financial institute and you can't compromise on trust because that's the only thing you have to retain your customers. Then you have a daily transaction volume in millions, as we discussed earlier in the second point, due to the fact that we have about 7 million active users. And resilience and compliance are critical to operations. Now we will go into the details of each of the components of the microservices architecture on Azure. And we're going to be also looking at the technologies each component is leveraging and which Azure service it's using. So the first component we have is front-end web applications. This includes all the dashboards that customers access. And the technology they mainly use are Angular and React, and these are hosted on Azure web applications. The second thing we have is the API gateway, which is obviously the main thing due to which each of the customer's request is being sent to the backend. And the technology it leverages is Kong, hosted on Azure Kubernetes Services. We've got the authentication services leveraging the technology of Node.js on AKS. We've got the payment service also on AKS using Azure SQL in the backend to actually save the payment info in a database. We've got the transaction ledger, which isn't deletable, and it has a record of every single transaction taking place inside the bank's environment to make sure you can access what happened back in the day. The technology it uses is Go, which is the short for Golang, it's a programming language, and it is also hosted on AKS, leveraging the database called Cosmos, which has got a ledger technology. Then you've got the customer profile service, which is using the Flask technology, using AKS. You've got the Redis cache system to make sure there's minimal downtime for customers who are accessing frequently in a short time frame. That uses Redis in the backend and Azure Cache for Redis service. Then you've got Azure Blob Storage for document storage, which is absolutely and utterly vital to such applications. And then last but not the least, you've got logging and monitoring, which is super important when it comes to especially banks. And the technology it uses its backend is Fluent with, and the service it's hosted on is Azure Log Analytics. So now we have an idea of what the bank is doing, what it's hosted on, and each of its components, along with the technologies it is leveraging. So now we've got an architecture in your mind, and now comes the part for chaos engineering, which probably all of you have been waiting for. So let's discuss chaos engineering. Chaos engineering is the practice of intentionally injecting faults into a system to validate its ability to withstand turbulent conditions in production. So, in simple terms, what this means is that you inject faults into a system deliberately to actually test the system if it can undergo adversity. That's the whole point of it. You do it in a controlled manner to make sure there's no real damage, and you test the system if it can. If the actual scenario comes, you test if it can continue with its operations. And if you go case specific for Qantas Financial, chaos engineering helps ensure that core banking services like payments, logins, and data consistency continue to function even under stress or partial failure. That's the whole point of it. That is what I just discussed in the first point. It enables teams to uncover hidden weaknesses. This is very important because during the development phase, there might be certain flaws in the architecture you have just made that you don't know, and none of the tests you might run on the code might be able to actually take them out, and point them out. And using chaos engineering, you can actually know what's wrong with your system when it comes to the production environment. Then apart from that, you can confirm recovery mechanisms, which means that you can sleep a good night's sleep, knowing that your system is good enough to continue with its operations despite, unpredicted disasters. And it builds confidence in service level resilience. Specifically, when it comes to our case scenario for Qantas Financial, the API gateway doesn't fail silently without you knowing, and it makes sure that transactions don't get lost during high traffic, and services recover gracefully from resource exhaustion or not failure. I've I've had a philosophy. I've stated it right here, which explains everything we discussed in the previous slide, which is break things on purpose so actual users don't have to go through the same. This is pretty much the crux of it. And then as I discussed on the first slide, we've got three main tools as a scope for this presentation. We've got Litmus Chaos, we've got Azure Chaos Studio, and we've got Prometheus. So these are the three tools, and we already know what components we have. So what I've done is I've categorized each of the components to the relevant chaos engineering tool. So for Litmus Chaos, I've mainly categorized four of them, which is the authentication service, and the chaos injected would be a pod kill. And what it does is that it simulates a container crash and validates auto recovery. Then for the API gateway, what you do is you inject a pod deliberately known as a CPU hog, and it analyzes the API's response, the API gateway's response time under computer saturation to test that despite a surge in computing power consumption, the API gateway is still functioning. This is what it tests. Then you've got the payment service, which in which we inject the fault of network latency. It tests delayed transaction handling and timeout handling. So what we test with this payment service is that we deliberately cause network latency and see if the transaction is being lost, and see if things go the way they are supposed to be going. Then you've got the Redis cache, and the chaos injected is memory stress, because at the end of the day, cache is in-memory database storage. So you provide it with memory stress, and then you validate its ability to cache under memory exhaustion. Then the next tool is Azure Chaos Studio, which is platform specific. So mainly we're going to be using three tools. We're going to be using it for three tools, just three of them. The first one is Ledger, which, as I discussed on slide 2, is that it stores transaction information and makes sure it never gets deleted. This is super important, and it was hosted on Azure Cosmos DB. So then the chaos injected is network disruption. And what it tests is that it retries logic and graceful error handling. For Cosmos DB, you've got disk input output throttling and providing a lot of operations in a very small time frame to see what it does. And it tests database performance and restricted disk speeds. Then you've got Azure Kubernetes Services nodes, and the chaos injected is VM reboot. You just, you reboot the node, and then you see what happens. And what it tests is workload redistribution and fault failure, which is exceptionally important if you have some knowledge regarding Kubernetes. Then the last one is Prometheus, and the monitoring focus scope and what it helps to evaluate are the three columns for this table. So the first thing it monitors is latency, and the scope of it is on every single service that we discussed in the Qantas Financial Bank's architecture. What it helps evaluate is spot performance bottlenecks and degradation. Then you've got monitoring focus for error rates. The scope is also all services here, and it identifies fault-prone API and endpoints. Then you've got recovery time, which is on the scope of which is only affected components, and what you validate is fast recovery against defined SLAs. SLAs is the short term for service level agreements. So the objective of all of these three slides and injecting these faults deliberately into a well-going system is to ensure each component meets the service level agreements and recovers gracefully under specific fault conditions. Then next we've got the monitoring response, which happens directly after what happened in the last three slides. You inject the faults, test the system, and then comes this phase. So for detection, we're going to be using Prometheus and Azure Monitor. Prometheus was already a part of the scope of this presentation. These are the two services that will detect, and alerting is done mainly by Alert Manager and Azure Action Groups. And the alternative for this on AWS is obviously the IKS. Then you've got incident routing. We've got three people. These are just dummy people, a part of the scenario we're providing. Josh is the DevOps lead, and he routes the incident to relevant departments via Slack and SMS. Stephen is the SRE, and he receives an alert for investigation. And Alex is the incident manager who creates the Jira ticket to make sure each and every department, a relevant department, is aware of what just happened. And recovery actions are going to be Kubernetes, horizontal fault, autoscalers, restart faults. You have to make sure that happens. Then you've got to make sure that logs ingested by FluentBit are stored in a safe manner, because they're actually the record of what happened during that incident, and it makes you able to just go into the past and see the documentation of what happened, and you are able to find out the strong and weak points of your system. And then you've got post-mortem conducted post-incident. Okay, so this is also a process that happens. Then we have got business continuity and SLA assurance. So this slide is mainly to demonstrate one of the benefits of using chaos engineering. So what Qantas Financial Bank can do right now is they can sign contracts and confidently providing the following SLAs. They can confidently tell their clients that they can provide 99.9% uptime and a 30 seconds recovery time objective and near zero recovery point objective, which is, it's quite a bit of an improvement. Then you've got chaos drills conducted quarterly after every single 4 months to make sure that you're always aware of your system. And because chaos engineering isn't something that you do once and you just forget about, because your system is constantly updating. New components hop in, and a lot of changes take place. So you need to make sure that you do that repeatedly across the year. Then you've got, it covers critical journeys, payments, onboarding to make sure that the actual end user doesn't have to face problems. And here are the outcomes. The outcome, first positive outcome is board confidence. The board is confident over the fact that the system can continue to work even under unfortunate situations. You've got audit readiness. Any audit can take place, and you're absolutely and utterly ready because you're confident that your system is resilient. And customer satisfaction, which is the most important one of them all. And then you've got CI/CD, integrating chaos engineering into CI/CD pipelines. Now, this is a bit of a tricky topic, but I'll try my best to make sure you actually understand what I'm trying to communicate. What happens is that before actually an application is, made public, the developers write the code snippets, and it is taken through certain, stages of the CI/CD pipeline, and then it goes into the final repository where it's amalgamated into a one big code that is ready to be uploaded. So what this step is going to do is that it's an extra but a very important one. Normal chaos engineering only takes place when your application is already in the production environment. You already have risk, customer, customer distrust. Your application is already in the production environment. Customers are accepting it, and then afterwards you're going to be conducting the chaos engineering, which is not quite a good of a thing. What we do instead is that we add a step to the CI/CD pipeline stage, and each of the snippets being made by specific groups of developers are actually tested for resilience before actually making them public. So you prevent failures before hitting production and validate each of the snippet release for resilience. So this is a very extra bonus, but it's super important because not doing it has a lot of downsides. So in the last line, here are the benefits. It enables faster, safer deployments with built-in reliability validation. The last point was the main crux of it. So, and here are a couple of key takeaways for most of you who missed certain parts of the presentation. Qantas Financial is a bank that relies on Azure microservices, chaos engineering proof system readiness, and tools like Litmus Chaos and Prometheus ensure observability. And service cloud agreements are protected by automation and fast recovery. So that was pretty much it for today. And I hope I did all I said.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Cool.
Just give me 1 minute. Let me compile these
Sure,
results.
take your time.
So you were born in 2010, right?
Actually, my legal age as of now is 18 years old. I was born in 2007.
So why do you guys have to do this? Like, what does your birth certificate says?
It's 2007. According to every
So,
single legal document I possess, my birth registration certificate shows 2007.
okay, so you need to
Yeah.
fix that data on the KYC.
Okay, I actually contacted Sir Yusuf and he said that it's not going to be that big a problem because EduQual and Nafi doesn't care about your date of birth.
That's true, but like the KYC is where we design the labs, right? So I just want to make sure like we design the right labs for you, right? Rather than just
Okay,
creating the labs for the sake of.
okay,
So you're 18 years old, right?
18 years old.
You have done your last academic qualification. What was it?
It's as of now, it's the RQF Level 6 diploma I'm doing. And if you look at the conventional side of it, I'm in matriculation.
So
It's
you did
almost done.
metric. Okay, you're almost done. You are going for your exam.
Yep, this year.
So 18 years of age,
Yep.
normally 60 by the time you're 16 you complete your metric, right?
I think my internet connection just disrupted. Let me have a look.
Can you hear me? You're having the problem again. Okay. Sulaiman, Amir, are you there? Sulaiman, Amir?
My internet got disrupted again. I'm extremely sorry.
That's
I don't know
okay.
what happens, but it happens repeatedly.
Okay, so let me ask you. So normally when a person completes their uh, higher secondary school certificate, HSSC, whatever it is called in Pakistan,
Yep, yep.
the age is 16, right?
Yeah, but it's not the required one. It's the standard one.
No. I'm just, no, I know. That's the normal age. There's no
Yeah, yeah,
requirement. You can do whenever you
yeah,
like. I'm
yep,
asking
yep.
you a question. So you did your intermediate metric. You're about to complete, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What were your scores in grade 9?
Actually, grade 9 is a part of the matriculation. I'm going for it very soon.
Oh, so, okay. You're going
Yeah,
for, is it like you have to appear for your ninth exam first and then 10th exam, right?
yeah. It's amalgamated into a single result. That's your metric. That's the final score.
That's the final. Okay. All right.
Yep.
It's different from O levels. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
what was, because I'm just looking at, like, you scored very well in your presentation. You mentioned in the start of the presentation you secured uh, basically IELTS 7.5 band.
Exactly.
That's in academic.
Yeah, academic.
That's, mashallah, is very good.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Mashallah, very good. Okay, so that's why I was like, I was reviewing your presentation. I said, like, this person speaks perfect English, right? In terms of communication skills and the presentation skills, like you secured the highest marks. That's why I'm thinking, like, let me communicate with him further to see, right? Okay, that's good, mashallah. All right, let's jump into the Q&A before we finalize all the other things. Bismillahir
Great.
Rahmanir Rahim. So chaos engineering, right?
Yep.
What is the main purpose of introducing chaos engineering in financial microservices?
That's a nice question, and I know exactly how to answer it. So chaos engineering, what it does is, as I mentioned in my presentation, chaos engineering allows you to test your system's reliability under adversities. Because normally things are going to be going normal, everything will be right. But there are certain points uh, that come, unfortunate, scenarios that obviously come every time, and you have to be ready for that. So what we do is that we, in a pretty controlled manner, inject faults into each and every component of our system to make sure it keeps running. So that if it actually happens, the end user doesn't have to go through the very same, and the system, recovers. That's the whole point of it. Without that,
Okay.
you're not sure. You're never sure if your system is good enough to keep running.
Okay. Um, so litmus chaos, right? Litmus chaos. So how does litmus chaos simulate container level failures in Kubernetes? How does it do that? Explain to me, please.
Can you come again, please?
So, you know, the litmus chaos, right?
Yeah.
How
It's
does the
one of the
litmus
tools. Yeah,
chaos simulate container level failures in Kubernetes environment or cluster? So how does it do that?
nice
The
question.
pod.
Okay, there are multiple ways to do that, but the two things that I discussed in my presentation were pod kill. You kill one of the pods running on the nodes, and the other thing was, resource exhaustion. You increase the latency, you increase the CPU the computing power being consumed, and then you see what happens. And the other thing was VM reboot. You a node reboot. You reboot your node that's running all the pods, and you see if the pods get rescheduled to other nodes as a part of your cluster. So these were one of the main things that Litmus Chaos did.
Okay. Have you
Yep.
seen those labs on the Al Razak Part 2? Or
No, I'm not that far yet. I'm still going
you
to get
should
to
go
those
in
parts.
and you should, because there are labs like these right? Where what happens if the pod fails, you fail the pod, you create the pod, all of those things, right? This is very important for you. It's in the CKA, CKS, and CKAD, right? All of them.
Yes.
Uh, okay, good, mashallah. Okay, so Prometheus and Grafana, right?
Yep.
What is their role in the chaos engineering pipeline?
Okay. So Prometheus and Grafana were the final thing I discussed when I was discussing the chaos engineering tools, and their role is pretty vital when it comes to chaos engineering. So during the first two steps that we did with Litmus Chaos and Azure Chaos, we were injecting chaos. But what's the main point of it if you don't know what was the system response? So Prometheus and Grafana, they record the system response. Prometheus collects all the metrics, the number of pods, which pod is on which node, etc. It accumulates all the metrics, and what Grafana does is it shows you on a very well comprehensible dashboard. So one collects the metrics from what you just said, and the other one shows it to you in a very concise way.
The Azure Chaos Studio, offers which is similar to Litmus Chaos. It complements the Litmus Chaos tool in
Yep.
this architecture. How does it do that?
Yep. What does it do?
In your presentation, you explain, the Azure Chaos Studio offer that complements the Litmus Chaos in this architecture, right? That you presented. How
Yep.
does Azure Chaos complements the Litmus Chaos in this scenario?
Okay. So what we did was we had two main tools that were Litmus Chaos and Azure Chaos Studio, and we categorized the components of the system, into both of these tools. And I found the best suitable, chaos engineering tool for each service, and I allocated it to that one. So if you look at Azure Chaos Studio, it was a perfect fit for the ledger component, which keeps track of all the payment records of the Cosmos database and Azure Chaos Studio nodes. So these were the three components of the Qantas Financial Bank
No.
that
So
it
explain
runs
to
on.
me,
Yep.
what can you do with Azure Chaos Studio?
I
What can
can
you
test
simulate?
certain. Yeah, I can test certain components of the bank's architecture, like the ledger, the Cosmos DB, and APS nodes via doing things like network disruption, disk input-output throttling, uh, you know, rebooting the virtual machine, etc.
Okay. Explain the business impact.
Yeah.
If you do chaos
Engineer.
drills,
Yeah.
right? Chaos drills,
Okay. So
as
first things
described.
first. Yeah.
First, let me finish the question.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
Explain the business impact of a quarterly chaos drills as described in your presentation. What happens? What is the business impact?
Okay. So the thing is that chaos engineering, as I discussed in my presentation on slide 10, most probably, what it does is that it allows you to actually be confident to your clients when it comes to the SLAs thing. You can confidently tell them that we can provide you with 99.9% uptime, 30 seconds of RTO, and near zero RPOs. That's one thing. Now, coming to your answer. Then the question was why to conduct it quarterly than just doing it once and just leaving it. So the point is that, especially when it comes to cloud native and such tech architectures, complex architectures with millions of users, there are constant improvements taking place into the system.
I'm losing you.
Nodes are being patched. The modified time to time. Yep. So my internet connection is unstable again.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a second. That's all right. Yeah, so the point of doing it quarterly is that your system modifies over time, and you need to make sure that your system is resilient according to every single architecture it's being modified into. You remove one service and then you check it again to see if the new
No, no.
architecture
Look,
is resilient or not.
I'm asking.
That's the whole point of doing it
Hold on.
repeatedly.
Hold on. I'm asking you the business impact. You're explaining me the operational impact, the business impact. The business impact is,
Okay, the business,
I just,
you can ensure 99.9% uptime and 30 seconds RTO, near zero RPO. That's one of the main things. And along with that, your own board is confident enough, you're ready for the audits taking place, and your customer is satisfied.
yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
These drills, they validate the readiness of the critical user journey example, onboarding, payments, it boosts the board confidence, ensures
Yep.
audit readiness, investment, to be brought in and protect customer trust through continuous resilience assurance, right? That's what it does
Exactly.
basically. Okay. So, Bismillah, 7.5, 8, and 4. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. If you have to design a chaos experiment to test the resilience of a Cosmos DB under disk I/O throttling, describe how would you verify the recovery process?
Okay. So what you asked was, what am I gonna do with Cosmos DB after
So
doing
if you
disk
have
IO
to,
sorting?
you have to, like before you do the chaos engineering, you have to design use cases, right? To test the
Yep.
application performance, logic, business logic, payment logic, authentication, all of those things, right? So when you have to do that, you have to design a use case. So describe a chaos experiment, a use case to test the resilience of a Cosmos DB
Okay.
under which you test the disk I/O throttling.
Okay.
Describe
So
how would you verify the recovery that yes, we did the test and we were able to recover. What are you
okay.
checking?
Okay. So the target component of your question is Cosmos DB, and the chaos being injected is disk IO throttling. So what I'm going to do is, like, you asked for a scenario. So let me give you a scenario. We have a database table on Cosmos DB on Microsoft Azure, and we deliberately decrease the disk speeds and to see how the system responds and see if the database is still available. So we deliberately decrease the disk speed and the disk performance and keep the continuous input output requests going, and then we see what happens. So if your system is good enough to respond to this, what will happen is that there will be an auto scaler taking part in the process, and it will scale the disk speeds. It's gonna scale upscale, I would say, not just scale, upscale your disk performance.
Okay.
Yep.
How does integrating chaos test in the CI/CD pipeline improves release quality?
Yeah. So CI/CD is actually a phase that takes place before the production environment, before your application is public. So what we do is that while groups of developers are writing certain parts of the codes, and they go into the final repository, what we do is that we add a stage to the pipeline where the code that they made, they run it and they see, like, for instance, if a certain group of developers are making the login system for the Qantas Financial Bank. So they write the code, and before putting that into the final repository, they run the code and they see if they inject faults into the login system to see if it still runs. And this, what it does is that before your code goes into the final production environment thing, you make sure that there's resilience inbuilt into the code. Because normally you would do that only if your system is already in the production environment, but this allows you to do that before that to avoid customer dissatisfaction.
Okay. What does break things on purpose so users don't have to imply in the context of this architecture? What does it means?
Yeah,
What kind of approach
that's
does it means?
yeah. So that's actually a layman philosophy I added to make sure that users get the crux of my presentation. It's non-technical one, but I'll try my best to explain it. So what we do is that we break the system ourselves deliberately and then see how the system responds to make sure that when an actual user is online on your bank's application or web application or whatever it is, he doesn't have to go through the very same if such adverse scenarios take place.
You're telling me that I will try to best explain this as best as possible.
No, 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 this wasn't for you.
Layman,
This was for all the users watching this.
in a layman user. I've been
That
doing
was for
this
the
for a long time. That was a
this,
good one.
this was yeah, this was
Uh,
for the
okay.
live users.
Yes. One of the things we do when we do chaos testing is we use MQTT protocol. Do you know what it is?
MQTT protocol. It's a new one for me.
It's a messaging protocol, messaging queuing
Yeah,
protocol. So even
yeah.
if the service goes down, it still makes sure that a reliable connection is there, something that we're integrating in our cloud right now, right? So I do these scenarios and all of these things and much more complex issues. I have to deal with them on a daily basis, right? So I'm not the CIO who sits on his desk and play games, but I am the CIO who does, who lead from the front in terms of making sure that things are done properly, right? One of the things that we have done is like we have created a platform known as Al-Qawi. Al-Qawi is the name of Allah, uh, you know. So this is the new platform that we have created, and it simulates many, many things. And chaos engineering is in there as well. Okay. Uh, how would you escalate a failed transaction scenario detected during a chaos drill involving the API gateway? How would you do that?
Okay. Uh, you said failed transaction.
Failed. I mean, transaction, someone was trying to make a payment and they were
Yep.
not able to make the payment.
Okay.
The
So
API, involving the API
uh,
gateway. What do you do?
yeah. So what we do is that the horizon. This is most likely due to one of the following reasons. It's either particle that we discussed in our presentation also. And what we will do for that is that's simple. Kubernetes has a built-in feature known as the HPA. It's called the horizontal pod autoscaler. And what it will do is that
No,
despite the pod being killed
no, no,
due to one
no,
reason or
no,
the
no.
other,
Stop. I'm asking
yeah,
you, how would you escalate a failed transaction scenario detected during a chaos drill
yeah,
involving the API gateway?
Prometheus,
What would you do?
yeah,
Would you pick up the phone? I need to call this guy. I need to escalate
yeah,
this to the manager, to the director. How would you do that?
got yeah. So for that, what we do is that we've got Prometheus in place to detect the
Yes.
metrics. It's going to be the first thing to detect that. Then Grafana is going to show it to the relevant people online at that uh, part of the day. They're going to see the dashboard, and while using Azure monitoring and Azure action groups, there's going to be an automated message going to one of the relevant departments. And as a part of my presentation, I believe I named someone called Josh as the DevOps lead, and we've got Steven as the SRE and Alex as the incident manager. So these are the relevant people who are gonna get the message of what just
Exactly.
happened.
So yes, so
Yeah,
Stephen from SRE, site reliability engineer, will investigate the root cause.
yeah,
Alex from the incident manager will create a Jira ticket, whatever, and logs
yeah,
reviewed by the for the postmortem to see what is happening, and that's
yeah.
and then the chain continues, right? That's how it is done. Okay, good. Okay, mashallah. All right, so suppose a chaos drill causes cascading failures across the API gateway, failure upon, it's like the blast radius is increasing.
Yep.
The API gateway is down, authentication service is down, payment service is down. Describe a strategy to contain the blast radius while keeping the system partially operational. This happened to us. We have different services, payment service, auth service. Okay, there's an email service. Because we have a service-oriented architecture, there's a cloud service, there's the AI service, there's the big data service, a data lake service. There's so many services, and all of them are through API gateway. So API gateway fails, the authentication fails, the payment service fails. How would you contain the blast radius while the
Yeah.
system is partially operational? What would you do?
Okay. So the target component you said was just the API gateway, or each one of the components are down.
It's a cascading failure. All of these things are
Okay.
failing.
Okay. So the service. So you want me to tell you how to contain the problem?
Yes, the question is
Yep.
how describe a
Okay.
strategy
Got
or
got you.
explain to me a strategy to contain the blast radius while keeping the system partially operational.
Okay. So this. Okay. So the services which have the problem, which are causing the problem, we have to identify that first using Prometheus, and Grafana is going to tell you which service is down, and uh, you will be able to tell how it's spreading using Fluent with logs, and then you will take down the services temporarily until it's been solved. So the affected services, the affected components, their service is unfortunately going to be down. But what that will do is the other components which are still functional will be able to function until this issue has been resolved. So that is comprehensible strategy.
Not the one I was looking for. You have to implement the fault isolation through service meshes, like use Istio or something with circuit breakers. Use Kubernetes network policies to segment the services, right? Apply retry limits and exponential, I would say, back off, ensuring unaffected services remain functional, right?
Yeah.
And critical services should have dedicated node pools and resource
Yeah.
quotas to avoid resource starvation, something we have deployed on our side, right? So our alnafi.com is a separate application. Alnafi.cloud is a separate application. LMS is a separate application. All of these things are monitored separately. Behind the scene, there is Al-Bari, Al-Basil, Al-Razak, Al-Qabi, so many things. There are different platforms, right? All of these
Yep.
platforms are working in a different manner, right? So that's what we do. So that's what I was asking for. Like, how would we do that per se, right? Okay, let's compile your scores.
Sure.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, mashallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So this is your score. Okay. So this was a good test. Really like it. Mashallah.
Right.
Good job.
Jazakallah.
In the presentation, you scored 24 out of 25. Reason
Alhamdulillah.
is, alhamdulillah, the reason is good presentation, good skills. You were able to explain, good communication skills, good demeanor in terms of what you explain. Throwing in
Thank
some
you very much.
punchline jokes, like, I will try to break it down as much as possible for you guys to understand, right? It's okay. Um, that was good, mashallah. In the Q&A, you scored 21.5 out of 25, right?
Yeah.
You stumbled on some of the questions. The answers were like, the topic is tough, but you still scored
Yeah.
21.5 out of 25, which is 86%. So 96,
Alhamdulillah.
it's very odd. 96 is in the presentation, 86 is in the Q&A. Altogether, you scored 91%, which is, the upper 10%, not the 5, but the 10%. MashaAllah. And this is essentially you have secured uh, distinction, right? Um, in the basically in the part two of the exam. MashaAllah, great job, right? This is what
Thank
I'm
you
going
very
to
much.
recommend to you. A few months ago, you came for level 3 exam. Now you did level 6
Yeah.
exam. Great strategy, I would say. Uh, what do you want to become? Is the question I have for you before I go
Yeah.
further and explain to you what you should do.
Yeah, that was the question for me about a month ago, and I analyzed all my skills. And what I came up with was AWS Cloud Solutions Architecture. With the certifications I have complement to it, I can integrate AI and cybersecurity, which I'm certified in from IBM. I can integrate that into AWS, and that's actually I even like it, and that's my strong point. So I would rather go for AWS Cloud Solutions Architecture with cybersecurity and AI integrated.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
I actually, yeah.
which country do you want to go in?
I'm looking forward to, just going for remote jobs for now. But due to the fact that my qualifications are EduQual awarded, they're internationally recognized, but UK is the place where it's mostly known. So I'd rather, target UK as my first choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my recommendation for you, okay? This is very
Okay.
important for you to understand. You need to go and complete your Al Razak, okay?
Okay.
Because when you complete Al Razak, AWS works and offers everything which is open source. AWS is very Linux heavy. They use a
Yeah.
lot of Linux technologies. And if you master all these things, and I'm going to show you something, okay, which is going to open your eyes to understand what you have to do. That will give you some perspective of how things needs to be done. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So there's a ton of things that you have to go for, right? And one of the things is, just give me 1 minute. Okay. So this is my recommendation. Okay. So complete the Red Hat Labs open source level 5, right? This is the
Yeah.
open source domain. You will see lots and lots of domains. These are OpenShift, OpenShift certified RHE, but these are all based on your job description. In level 6, because you're coming in level 6, you're getting everything in level 6. You see, level 6, you're getting
Yeah.
everything, right? So everything is there. So these all together are coming to 51. So if I remove the duplicate and everything, they come to around 48, 49, 50 something, right?
Okay.
If I do remove all of, so some of these are advanced levels, the end ones, multi-cluster, this and that and whatnot. So if you want to go in IBM, Red Hat is your pathway. If you want to go in AWS, Red Hat is your pathway. Linux is essentially your stack. That's what you need to work on. Complete your Al-Azhar. The first 6 months covered in AI ops covers thousands of labs, hundreds and thousands of labs, right? It becomes easier for you to do the labs. You can do the labs in a day, 10, 15, 20, 100. It's easy because the
Yeah.
container is ready. You don't have to do a lot of work. You just have to
Yeah.
work on building the skills. तुम्हें बहुत ज़्यादा काम नहीं करना. तुम्हें सिर्फ कंटेनर पे क्लिक किया, ठुम बूम कंटेनर खुल गया. उसके बाद तुम अपना लैब कर रहे हो. लैब करके साथ साथ तुम जो है ना अपने आई एम जस्ट कन्वर्सिंग विथ यू इन योर ओन लैंग्वेज. ठीक है. ताकि दूसरों को भी समझ आए, सो दैट एवरीवन एल्स कैन अंडरस्टैंड हु आर सिटिंग. ये प्लेटफॉर्म तुम्हें पूरी तैयारी करके ले जाएगा एम्प्लॉयर के सामने बिठाने के लिए. सो अगर तुम्हें रिमोट जॉब चाहिए, तो अगर तुम्हें उसके अंदर तुम्हें टोगैफ पे काम आता है, तुम्हें उसके ऊपर ओपन सोर्स पे काम आता है, तुम्हें इसके ऊपर, ठीक है ना. सो इमेजिन कि ये तुम्हारा सारा काम है, ठीक है ना. तुम्हें मशीन लर्निंग के ऊपर सारा काम तुम सीखोगे. अभी बहुत सारी चीज़ें, लैंग चैन, ये वो सब बहुत सारी, दिस अ टन ऑफ थिंग्स. डेवऑप्स CI/CD के अंदर तुमने काम किया, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग के ऊपर तुमने काम किया, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज अ कोड, लिनक्स ओपन सोर्स, पाइथन प्रोग्रामिंग. दिस इज ऑफेंसिव पाइथन, डिफेंसिव पाइथन, सब इसमें आएगी अभी.
जी.
सितंबर में आ रही है, ठीक है ना. सो एवरीवन इज
जी.
रिसीविंग दिस बिकॉज वी स्टार्टेड दिस रिसेंटली इन जून, राइट. ये नया प्रोग्राम जो है अल रज़ाक जून से शुरू हुआ है. दिस इज अ न्यू फीचर वेयर वी गिव यू एवरीथिंग रेडी मेड, right? So you're getting all of those things. Cybersecurity, offensive, defensive is coming in August. There's so many things that you'll be shocked and you'll be happy as well at the same time. DevSecOps, GRC, big data, data science and visualization. There is so many things जो तुम्हारे पास आनी. And then level दिसंबर से on the 7th month, depending के अगर तुमने जून से ज्वाइन किया है तो तुम्हें दिसंबर से मिलेगा. अगर तुमने जुलाई में ज्वाइन किया कोर्स तो तुम्हें जनवरी से मिलेगा. दिस
जनवरी.
इज द 7th मंथ पे तुम्हारी KYC की लैब्स किक इन होती हैं. इन द 7th
जी.
month, on the 7th month the KYC labs kick in, right? वो जो KYC की labs हैं, they are very important because what we are doing is there's a new job portal coming up. हमारा नया job portal आने वाला है, right? Where the employers are providing us their requirements and we are putting them over there. So you can apply and then we can connect you with the employers, right?
Okay.
Yes, that's another thing. We are opening that for all kinds of remote jobs and Middle Eastern jobs in Saudi, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, right? All of these GCC countries, and in the Asian countries, South Asian countries, even Asia Pacific. You'll find Japanese companies there: Toyota, Honda, Lexus, right?
Yes.
So there are a ton of things coming up. You can apply.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, you can apply. You can go there. You can work from home or whatever the case is. That's their requirement. Our job is to connect you with them, but we will not connect you until you complete the labs. If you have everything without doing the labs, अगर दुनिया में तुम्हें कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसमें तुम्हारी सारी तैयारी पहले से ही है और तुम्हें सब कुछ इसने करवा दिया है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. Then you can go. Can you find someone? No. Is there anyone right now? Yes. Enough is the only one. Alhamdulillah, right? That's what makes us unique. So this
Yeah.
cloud platform is known as Ar-Razak. This is Ar-Razak. The defense platform Al-Qawi is different. That is for intelligence agencies, for defense agencies, offensive agencies, you know, Interpol, and all the other organizations. We're not working with the CIA. We don't want to work with the CIA, right? But for other agencies or Mossad, no. But for other agencies, they can use the platform, they can use it, etc., etc. That is not available for civilian. But
Okay.
if you want to do and learn some of the things, we will bring some of the labs from there and give it to you. So that will come, right? Because they are doing that platform के ऊपर वो labs भी कर रहे हैं और उसके आगे और labs भी कर रहे हैं. That's very different, right? Again, the goal is that you need to secure the best possible job. You're only 18, mashallah,
Yep.
and you already have 7.5 in the IELTS. This is good for 2 years. कब पास किया था?
तकरीबन 2 महीने हो.
So 2 साल तक के लिए good है, right? It's good for 2 years,
जी. जी बिल्कुल.
right?
Yep.
So you have time on your side, secure a job, go for QB astronaut exams. Just exam, कुछ भी नहीं है, आराम से पास कर लोगे. Soon, in the next 6 9 months, you don't even have to go for QB astronaut because we will ourselves will be ISO 17024 certified. We will have our own QB warrior. Our names will be different,
Okay.
right? Right. So basically, then you will be able to find our own exams, and you don't have to pay
Okay.
exuberant fee that you
Yeah.
pay to Linux Foundation, and you'll be able to do this while part of Al Razak, getting the badges and everything and certification, right? ISO
Yeah.
17024 is the same qualification, is the same certification, right? Certifying bodies in cybersecurity and IT audit, right? It's the same thing कि जो इनके पास हैं. I mean, these organizations are जो तुम्हें नजर आएंगी भी, अगर मैं दिखाऊंगा तुमको, if I show it to you, ये सारी वो organizations हैं जिनके पास ISO 17024 है, the ones that
जी
have, right? You can see ISACA है, IBITGQ something, they specialize in governance, Federal IT Security Institute, right? IC Square, SANS, they have it, right? एक एक
Yeah.
कोर्स साइंस का, ये जैसे गैक है, ये बिल्कुल
जी जी
बेकार सा कोर्स है, और ये इतना बेकार कोर्स है मैं तुमको बता नहीं सकता, ठीक है ना? और अगर इसकी मैं सर्टिफिकेशन कैटेगरी पे जाऊं, और एक कोर्स है, एक कोर्स करने से क्या तुम बहुत बड़े पन्ने खान बन जाओगे? एक्सप्लेन इट टू मी, ठीक है ना? सो अगर
जी
मैं
जी
साइंस के पास जाऊं .org, राइट, और मैं इनका ट्रेनिंग पाथ का कोई सा भी कोर्स देख लूं, आई मीन वट एवर द कोर्सेज आर, कोई भी कोर्स उठा लो,
जी
इट डजेंट मैटर,
जी
राइट?
जी
कोई सा भी कोर्स उठा लो, इनके सारे जो कोर्सेज हैं, जैसे एडवांस इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी या जेन ए आई एंड एल एन एम एप्लीकेशन सिक्योरिटी, फलाना फलाना जो भी है, वट एवर, राइट? इनके जितने भी कोर्सेज
जी
हैं, ये है, ऑल ऑफ दीज कोर्सेज, यू कोर्स डिटेल्स एंड scheduling and pricing. Every
जी
course, doesn't matter कौन सा course है, $8,260 is the fee. Equivalent of euro वही है. Every course, you see, कोई से भी course उठा लो,
या
doesn't matter.
जी जी
This is their standard fee that they charge, right?
हाँ
Virtual हो, on demand हो, कुछ भी हो, whatever the case is, that's too much.
या
AI ops जो तुम करते हो अन्नाफे का,
जी
right? अगर वो वहां से बच्चे करें ये, उसकी जो पूरी फीस है, अल रज़ाक प्रोग्राम तमाम चीज़ों के साथ, राइट, सही है ना, तमाम
जी
चीज़ों के साथ, उसकी जो फीस है, दैट इज़ नॉट इवन $8,000, अगर मैं उसके ऊपर पूरा करूं और सब कुछ बताऊं, ठीक है ना,
या
दैट इज़ नॉट इवन $8,000 या जो भी है. सो यू कैन सी कि तुम्हारे पास यू गेटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ वैल्यू फॉर मनी, राइट? दिस इज
या
कैनेडियन. अगर मैं कनाडा में हूँ ना, तो कैनेडियन प्राइस नजर आई 5,450 कैनेडियन 18 मंथ्स के ऊपर, एंड वहाँ पर एक कोर्स तुम्हारा इतने का है, एंड दैट इज जस्ट अ
जी जी
5 days कोर्स. क्या तुम 5 days में सब चीज़ नहीं सीख लोगे? नो, यू कांट डू दैट, राइट? सो
ओके
दिस प्लेटफॉर्म कवर्स एवरीथिंग अंडर द सन. इट गिव्स यू आर्किटेक्चर एक्सपीरियंस, डेवलपमेंट एक्सपीरियंस, स्ट्रेटजी एक्सपीरियंस, लाइक वो सारे जो स्किल्स हैं ना, बिल्ड अप दो स्किल्स ना, बिकॉज वो स्किल्स जो हैं तुम्हें आगे लेके जाएंगे. यू नीड द स्किल्स टू बी
जी
एबल
जी
टू गो फर्दर. अब तुम्हें जो जाना है वो अपने स्किल्स को हार्नेस करना है और उसको तैयार करना है, बिकॉज दैट विल टेक यू टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल. एंड
या
द गुड थिंग इज कि ये जो सारी की सारी टॉपिक्स हैं, सारी की सारी जो चीज़ें हैं, वट एवर दोज आर, राइट, सही है,
या
एवरीथिंग इज बीइंग कवर्ड, लाइक इतना डिटेल लेवल के ऊपर दैट यू कांट इवन इमेजिन के क्या है. Everything is being provided to you in the best possible way. So the domains, जो domains हैं, ये domains बड़ी important हैं. These domains are very important. ठीक है ना? So if I have to show you the presentation and everything, the domains are very important. Domains तुम्हें तैयार करके लेके जाएंगी. You have to pay attention on the domains. ठीक है?
जी
ये सारी चीज़ें पे तुमने टेक्निकल कम्युनिकेशन, कम्युनिकेशन एंड टीम वर्क, सब के ऊपर तुमने काम करना है, ठीक है ना? सो दैट विल प्रिपेयर यू टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल, दैट विल मेक यू रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट लेवल, राइट? वो तुम्हें लेके जाएगा. सो पे अटेंशन, पे अटेंशन. ये एआई के अंदर तुम ये सब चीज़ें सीखोगे. डेवऑप्स सेसऑप्स के अंदर ये सब तुम काम करोगे, इटरेशन, रैपिड डेवलपमेंट, पाइपलाइन, सिक्योर डिप्लॉयमेंट, सब. क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, यू विल डू ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग, डायनामिक स्केलिंग, होस्टिंग, ये वो, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. Infrastructure as a code, again the same thing. And the best
Yep.
the best thing is, this is the whole Linux open source system is covered. The best thing is,
Yep.
like, you don't have to do anything. Everything is ready for you. Like in जन्नत में तुम्हारे लिए हर चीज रेडी है, राइट?
जी,
सेब खाना है, फरिश्ता आगे बोलेगा ये लो, ठीक है ना? केला खाना है, बोले ये लो। और जन्नत के फल बहुत सारे हैं, जो चाहिए भी चाहिए, ये चाहिए, जो भी चाहिए ले लो, ठीक है ना? एवरीथिंग इज रेडी, इट्स रेडी मेड, राइट? This is what you need to have. So focus on that. Go through all the
awesome.
experience. Build up yourself.
Okay.
ठीक है ना? When you go for the interviews, you will see the difference. कि यार, if they talk about TOGAF, Sherwood model, IT architecture, business requirements, ठीक है, compliance requirements, building up the solution, building up AI, integrating AI, infusing AI, blockchain solution, quantum computing, all of these things are there.
जी,
The best thing, the best thing जो तुम्हें बहुत वो है, is you still have a lot of time. सो ये जो
yep.
चीज़ें हैं सारी, ये हमारी कोर टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं जिसके ऊपर हमने अलग स्पेशलाइजेशंस के डिप्लोमास बनाए। ए आई ऑप्स के अंदर तुम्हें ये मिलेगा, यू गेट साइबर सिक्योरिटी एंड यू विल गेट दिस। ये लैब्स तुम्हारे लिए काफ़ी हैं। बट वंस यू सिक्योर द जॉब, काम हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया, तुमने इसका प्रोग्राम कंप्लीट कर लिया, गो फॉर सेमीकंडक्टर एंड चिप डिज़ाइन, और गो फॉर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, और गो फॉर स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी, or go for bioengineering or SCADA, whatever you want to do, or robotics or drones and autonomous systems. This is for military purposes. ठीक है ना? सही है? So
Awesome.
all of these things will be covered. मैंने कि अभी हमने उसकी जो अलकवी प्लेटफॉर्म पे लैब्स बनाई हैं, ड्रोन्स, जो कॉमन ड्रोन्स मिलते हैं, इनको लो, इसको उसके ऊपर सेंसर्स लगाओ लाइडार के। हम किट्स भी दे रहे हैं, किट्स भी, वी आर ऑल्सो ऑफरिंग किट्स एज वेल। बहुत सारी चीज़ें अब आ गई हैं, ठीक है ना? बट दोज आर फॉर डिफरेंट कस्टमर्स, ठीक है ना? दीज थिंग्स विल बी अवेलेबल इन अवर अपकमिंग यूनिवर्सिटी एज वेल, इंशाल्लाह। ओके, बट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि तुम्हें वहाँ पर 80 to 90% जो काम होता है, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू एप्लीकेशन एंड सॉफ्टवेयर। 10% हार्डवेयर तुम मंगाओ अलीबाबा से, अमेजोन से, कोई भी वेबसाइट है मंगवा कर, यू कैन कस्टमाइज इट, बिल्ड योर ड्रोन, reflash the image, put your operating system in there, the Linux microkernel, Python micro, and start booting it up and start managing it. Okay?
Got
These
it.
are the next
Thank
generation skills that you need to have, but that requires specific mindset. But all pathways goes through what? Through AI ops. You have completed that. Now go and complete the labs, inshallah. Okay?
Okay.
Inshallah.
One question before wrapping up. I've made that before this interview started. That was that if you look at my skill set, I'm IBM certified, in AI and cybersecurity. I've got the AWS certification, IELTS 7.5. And apart from that, I've got a GitHub portfolio which has 5 production grade projects of my own, which are related to AWS Cloud Solutions architecture, integrated with IAC tools like Terraform, Ansible, with integrated security and AI pipelines like SageMaker. So
Good.
long story short, yeah. Apart from that, I've also got the internship experience that was in each of the tracks we did here at Nafi, SysOps, DevOps, AI, and cybersecurity. So that all accumulated, that gives me 48 months of experience, because each of them is 12 months. So I've got the skill set, I've got the bachelor's equivalence cleared. Now, what should I do if I should I start applying for jobs?
Complete the
How
labs and start
Yep.
applying for jobs simultaneously at the same time. We will give
Okay.
you the, if you want the resume from us, the top-notch
Okay.
resume, then the labs that you're going to complete will be written in your resume. So for
Okay.
example, if you complete 1,000 labs covering all the 50 things, 50 technologies and certifications of Red Hat Linux, imagine what your resume would look like.
Oh,
Camel, you know API gateways, IAC, infrastructure as a code, clustering, Kubernetes clustering, Linux clustering, uh, basically APIs, uh, setup and everything, the consumption, integration of AI. You can't even imagine where you will be. So
yep.
the kind of talent that we are creating now
Uh-huh.
knows the hands-on implementation, because तुम किसी भी फील्ड में जाओ, wherever you go, you will find open source is the king, right? So open source पे अगर तुमने harness कर लिया, you will be unstoppable. You don't have to worry about anything. The good thing is everything is there for you ready. Dockers,
Yeah.
you know, more than 50 labs. Covers the whole topic. Kubernetes, मेरा मशवरा है, QB astronaut बन जाओ. At the age of 18, you will become one. ठीक है, जाके एग्जाम दे सकते हो, सब कुछ कर सकते हो. Go and do it. Complete the labs. Complete कम से कम 3 months की अल रज़ाक labs करो. After 3 months of अल रज़ाक labs, जो तुम्हारा resume होगा, it will look very different. It covers
Got
DevOps, SysOps, and open source, and cybersecurity, and offensive security. 5 key domains, right? That gives you the confidence that if you go somewhere, no matter तुम देखो दुनिया में तुम कहीं भी जाओगे ना, तुम्हें 5 टेक्नोलॉजीज मिलेंगी जो तुम हार्नेस कर रहे हो. AI हर जगह, इट्स बीइंग इन्फ्यूज्ड इन एवरीवेयर. लेकिन ये आइसोलेशन में कोई भी चीज़ काम नहीं करती. साइबर सिक्योरिटी, you need even AI को भी सिक्योर करना है. It can be compromised, right? And it has been compromised, right? तीसरी जो चीज़ है वो DevOps है, बिकॉज हर चीज़ इंटीग्रेटेड हो रही है. SysOps क्लाउड पे चल रही है. एवरीथिंग इज ऑन द क्लाउड. इज देयर एनीथिंग अबव द क्लाउड? नो. इज देयर एनीथिंग दैट इज गोइंग टू कम? It was there in the past. In the olden days, it was known as LPARs, logical partitions. लिनक्स में उसको कहा जाता था. ठीक है ना. उसको फिर कहा उन्होंने वर्चुअलाइजेशन. VMware केम विद वर्चुअलाइजेशन. ओ जी वर्चुअलाइजेशन हो गया, वर्चुअलाइजेशन. अच्छा, वर्चुअलाइजेशन के बाद क्या आ गया? अब क्लाउड आ गया जी. सब क्लाउड में ले जाओ. अब होस्ट लेने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. अब क्लाउड से ऊपर कहाँ जाएंगे? देखिए सैटेलाइट पे जाएंगे. कहाँ जाएंगे? सैटेलाइट कंप्यूटिंग वगैरह बन रही है. दे आर ट्राइंग टू मूव डेटा सेंटर्स इन टू द स्पेस, क्योंकि वहाँ बिजली और उसका बिल सबका है ही नहीं. आप सोलर से पावर कर रहे हो, कॉस्ट ठंडा करने की कॉस्ट ही नहीं है, क्योंकि कूलिंग सिस्टम है ही नहीं. स्पेस ऑलरेडी कूल्ड है, राइट? एंड दे आर वर्किंग ऑप्टिमली. सो देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स हैपनिंग राइट नाउ. ठीक है ना. सो कीप दिस इन माइंड कि टेक्नोलॉजीज में तुम्हें 5 चीज़ें करनी है. डेवऑप्स, सिसऑप्स, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, ठीक है ना, GRC and AI. This combines it into AI ops.
AI.
Surrounding, you can put blockchain, you can put synthetic computing, you can put autonomous drones and autonomous systems, you can put in robotic process automation, you can cover it up. Everything else is a complementary technology. This is the foundational. Even जब quantum computing भी आ जाता है, even if then quantum computers are coming, right? They're available. If I show you, quantum computing is available right now. So if I say quantum computing AWS, right, price, I'm going to show it to you. They are offering quantum computing. They are doing that. वो offer कर रहे हैं. Now how much they're charging? Quantum computing and simulator. You can see. हम तुम्हें इसमें देना शुरू करेंगे स्टूडेंट्स को. अगर तुम्हें हार्डवेयर प्रोवाइडर आयन क्यू पे जाना है, QPU फैमिली और उनका वो है, ये उनके प्रोसेसर्स हैं. पर टास्क प्राइस क्या है? 0.3, राइट? सो क्वांटम कंप्यूटर्स आर देयर. रिजर्वेशन अगर पर घंटे की चाहिए, इट्स $7,000. यू कैन सी. सबसे सस्ता वाला ये है, अकेला. ठीक है ना. सो यू कैन सी के दे आर ऑलरेडी देयर. सो अगर तुम मुझसे पूछते हो कि फैसल भाई व्हाट शुड आई डू, आई हैव दिस experience from IBM, AWS, and everything. While doing the labs, go for quantum computing. बोले यार मुझे quantum में भी काम करना है. This is finance, defense, pharmaceutical industries, and तमाम industries में quantum आ रहा है. क्यों? There will be security, but now it is known as quantum security. There will be DevOps, but then it will become quantum DevOps. There will be SysOps, but then it becomes quantum SysOps. Because the way you work in quantum is different. It's the same things you do, but in a different way. Right?
Got it.
So there will be GRC, but now it is quantum GRC. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all, there is AI. It's now quantum powered AI, which is much more extreme, much faster, much meaner,
Yeah.
right? Just like Grok or Gork, whatever, right? The one that's the only model we haven't used. Apart from that, we have used all the models and we've developed our own models as well, alhamdulillah. But that's what you have to do. So inshallah, may Allah give you more success. Zaheen बच्चे हो, काबिल हो, माशाल्लाह. Work hard Go through all the things, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah. You told me that while doing the labs and doing all the things, simultaneously I have to go through the job application phase.
You
Can
can
you give me
start
some?
applying, you can start applying, but at least complete all the labs of 3 domains.
I got it.
3 months की Al Raza की labs करो, part 2 की. फिर
I
जब तुम
got it.
apply करोगे, you don't even have to ask me, Faisal bhai कौन? Who's Faisal bhai? I don't know him. You can disown me, it's fine. ठीक है ना?
Yeah.
You say, I don't know him. I have my job, alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make dua for me. Okay. Okay, so
Inshallah.
don't just disown me like other people have done. Just जाके
No.
मतलब कि काम करो, मेहनत करो. May Allah give you more success, inshallah. Okay.
Ameen. Ameen.
Uh, the thing is like complete the Al Razak labs for 3 months. You already have access, right?
Got it.
Access है ना तुम्हारे
Yep, I
पास?
have it.
लो खत्म
जी
करो.
जी
ठीक है ना?
ठीक.
खत्म करो. जॉब सिक्योर कर, जब जॉब सिक्योर हो जाए बोलो अब मैं क्वांटम में आ रहा हूँ. Because you are young, you have the time on your side. Quantum is coming. It's already there. You go and check. Microsoft के पास भी है, IBM के पास भी है. Everyone is selling it, right? So all of these companies are going for it. So things will there. ये जो लोग कहते हैं ना कि AI will replace everyone, AI will do some, AI is not going to replace anyone. AI, people will be replaced by those people who know how to use AI. That's number one rule.
Exactly.
AI will replace mundane tasks. बाहर कचरा साफ हो रहा है, मशीन आएगा, रोबोट कर लेगा. घास काटनी है, घास काटने वाले की नौकरी चलेगी. ठीक है ना? क्यों? वो छोटा सा एक आ गया है, या लॉन आ रहा है, वो आगे कर रहा है.
जी
Slowly and gradually, over the next 50, 60 years, 70 years, AI will take over all the, I mean, अगले 10 साल में तो AI हर फील्ड में घुसा होगा. It will be everywhere. But AI will not take over the jobs. AI will take over the white collar jobs. The blue collar jobs वो खत्म हो जाएंगे. Most of them will go away
got it.
because more and more things are coming up, right? But you have the time. You have the time. Use that time. ठीक है ना? Don't make videos on YouTube, this and that and whatnot. That's total waste of time. Build up your portfolio on your GitHub, right?
Yep.
On LinkedIn. Start writing articles. I did this.
Yep.
I did this. This is what I did. This is what I did. So तुमने 1,000 labs हैं. There are 1,000 labs in just in AI ops, open source,
Yep.
right? Open 1,000. Talk about the fatter ones, the big ones, the complicated ones. I did this today in the lab. Start drafting your journey and everything, and you will see people will come after you. ठीक है भाई? That's what you need to do. Okay? चलो. Jazakallah
Thank you
khair.
very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
May Allah give you more success. I want
Ameen. Summa.
to contact me. You have my number? Do you
Yeah.
have my number?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, take my
Can you?
number. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah. Is it in the chat?
I'm sending it to you. Yes.
Okay. I've got it.
So write this number down. Contact me. I would like you to connect with the team to potentially come online for basically as a narrator, as a teacher assistant, if you want to join in.
Okay.
Inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair for your time. Inshallah, I will see you all in
Thank
the
you very
next
much.
time. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.